Thanks for tuning in once again to more Thoroughbred action here on Proline TV as we get you ready for some action on Saturday. The three really important Kentucky Derby prep races will go back to back to back with the Bluegrass Stakes, the Wood Memorial, and the Santa Anita Derby. We're here to cover them all. If you have any questions or comments, either live during the show or on demand, just let us know and we'll definitely get back to you. We thank all of the interactions that we get from everybody in the comment section. It's always fun to see everybody getting back and forth. And we know we have a pretty smart group of viewers, so we appreciate that as well. Jon Hardoon, of course, joining us from the Ragozin Sheets. Jon, good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Greg.
We only have a few weeks to go before the Derby. Actually, it's a month.
Yeah.
It feels like a few weeks, but that's because this is the big week. And then we get, I guess, one more chance to Lexington. But really, this is it. This is the last chance. Let's pop up the Derby points situation here. You've got these are the horses here that already are well in the Derby. You got Commandment, Renegade all the way down here. What is it? 50 points, John? You have to. Let's see. Where are we? We're down to here. We are. So we got about 50 points here from class president who scratched,
right?
And but I guess he's still in a good position because right now he's still 10 with 50 points.
But he's probably going to be out of the Derby, by the way. If they
think so, okay.
Yeah. But I'm not so sure 50 is going to get you in so fast because they're going to have 3 races this week for 100 for the winner. So, if those guys aren't on top, someone from behind could come and get them. And I guess you get something for second and third as well. So,
and here's a lot of horses breathing down the neck of those final points. Robusta, Intrepido, Talk to Me Jimmy, Bravaro, Butane, Napoleon Solo, So Happy. I mean, all these horses are trying to get in. And so we've got a lot of them battling it out for the final points, or pretty much most of the final points that you'll get to become a Derby participant. And there is an opening now because of Paladin's injury as well. So yeah, that's unfortunate because he was, a lot of people thought he could have been one of the top Derby contenders.
Yeah, no question about it. He was up there and now he's off the trail. So
off the trail.
And he won't be the last. I could guarantee.
That's true. And that includes the week of the Derby. So
what do you mean? If you remember Breeders' Cup Day, they scratched horses going to the gate in the Pacific in the big one in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So you're never safe till you get in the gate and it opens.
That's right. Okay, so last week, speaking of Commandment, who's at the top there? Yeah, where is he? Where's Commandment? Get me over here. There he is. He's got the most at 150 points because he had a big win, his 4th straight win, winning the Florida Derby last week. And boy, that was a heck of a three horse duel between the Puma, Chief Wallaby, and Commandment. But it was Commandment that got the win. Boy, I really thought the Puma had a shot there.
What do you mean? He was in front the step before the wire and the step after the wire.
I know. It was a bob. It was
a miserable bob. That's why he lost. I mean, yeah, it was the only time he wasn't in front. So, yes.
Yeah, so I'm pissed off about that. But whatever. He'll be in the Derby. And then in the Arkansas Derby, it was a really impressive looking charge on the outside by Todd Pletcher's Renegade. The favorite of the race just charged. You don't see that very often.
No, but he really didn't beat much. There was nothing in that field, to be honest with you. And a couple of horses that was supposed to be scratched didn't scratch, like the 1 and 2, and it kind of changed everything. By the way, if you're looking for numbers, Commandment ran a 6.
6. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Renegade ran a 6. Who else do you want to know? I think those were the only 2, right?
Yeah, so Commandment now has a really good-looking line. He goes from 16 to 8 to 6 over 5 races. So that's really nice. He's definitely going to be one of the top choices for sure. As might Renegade coming off that 6. He's got a 9 and a 6 this year. So those are two horses.
Nearly turned out to be the big disappointment. The horse, I think he ran fourth for Pletcher, but he may not want to go that far. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Also, here's interesting to note, and I'm not sure. Again, I know we have a very smart viewership, so I'm sure there's others that do know, but keep this in mind, and that is the fact that the last 7 Derby winners, Kentucky Derby winners, did not win their final Derby tune-up. Okay? 7 consecutive years, the Derby winner lost.
Well, that only makes sense, because why do you want to squeeze the horse his last race before the Derby? You want to leave, some juice in the tank for the most part. So,
and I'm not including the 2020 Derby, obviously, because that was in September. But it's interesting because maybe, John, that's like a new way of thinking, because before this, because the last horse to do it was Always Dreaming in 2017. And that was a run of 8 straight Derby winners that won their final Derby tune-up. So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe they're looking at, new technology. They're always looking at
style. Yeah, different style.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe it's, hey, you know what? We don't have to. We got this point system. We don't have to bury these horses to win the final tune-up. But anyway, just so you know, in case you're in love with these horses that have won their final Derby tune-up, you're bucking a trend that's going on 7 straight years now. Okay. So now we're going to go into this week's races. So let me go ahead and pile up. Let's see. We'll go to start with the Bluegrass. This is the one that will start, first of all, at, let's see, what time does this one start? This one, let me get this stuff out of the way and bring this in. And this is going to start at 6:22 Eastern, of course, Saturday. And there is rain in the forecast. So we got to keep that in mind. This is the only one of the 3 prep races where rain could be a factor. So I'm not sure if there are any horses. I'm just quickly looking here. I'm not sure if there are any horses. I don't see any horses that have experience dealing with rain.
That's the problem.
Yep. Okay. So the morning line favorite is going to be the 6, Further Ado. Looks like Further Ado is going to be tough to beat here, John. Class President scratched. So that's the 2 horse. Oselli is going to be in the wood. So we'll talk about that next. So he's not in this race. So it's only a 7-horse field now.
Is it? Why? Only Class President. And who else is scratched besides
Oselli?
Oh, Oselli's also out. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to the wood.
So that's fine.
Okay. 10 winners, by the way, have won the Bluegrass and the Kentucky Derby, but it has not happened since 1991. That was Strike the Gold, the last time the Bluegrass winner won the Kentucky Derby.
I see you back with all your stats.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to go. I'm all fired up.
All right.
All right. This is the big weekend, the big prep weekend. Okay. So let's get started at the one, John, talking basically in 4 races as 313s.
Yeah, and he really didn't get better since his 2-year-old campaign. So that's the problem with him. He would have to take a step forward, and there's nothing that indicates that he's going to take the step forward. So I think you have better options.
Okay, the 2 is scratched. The 3 is Great White, a 15-1 shot who is only raced at Turfway.
Well, that's the problem. He's never been on dirt. Why didn't they run him last week in the Jeff Ruby?
Yeah.
I mean, that race was on synthetic. You think they would have run him there. He did win his last race at Turfway Park. I don't know what to do with him. He's an unknown.
Yeah, he's coming off. He is coming off at 11, so that's his best number.
He figures to bounce anyway, even if it was
that's true. That's true. All right, the 4 is Reagan's Honor, and Reagan's Honor is one of the top choices here at 5-2. Again, these lines are going to change with Class President out. He's coming off a 9. It's a 6-point new top, and also all 3 of his races, including, of course, his 2 wins, have been on LASIK. So that's not a really good combo that I like, is coming off LASIK wins, and also you're going to have to come off a 6-point new top just about 6 weeks, 5 weeks, which is about the border.
Yeah, but the biggest problem is he's 5-2, and will be shorter than that with Class President. And I don't want this horse. He wins, he beats.
Agreed. Next up is the 5, Creole Chrome. And upgrade with Tyler Gaffleone on board. Distance, that might be something that this horse is going to have to deal with. He's coming off 2 14s last year, 2 12s this year, and all 4 of his races, including his 3 wins, were on Lasix. Are we getting a pair possibility here, John?
Absolutely, and you're getting 8 to 1. So this is a must use, in my opinion. Whoever you decide you're playing, you must include this horse because, he's never done anything wrong. Last time was his first time around 2 turns, and he ran another 12. So he could handle the distance. There's no question about that.
Okay, next up is the 6. This is the favorite, Further Ado. Again, tough to beat because he's got the best number of a 7, which actually happened at this track in October. Throw in the fact that he bounced to an 11 following the 7 in that race, came right back to a 9, finishing second to the Puma, who just nearly lost the race last week we talked about. So I think it's going to be tough to beat Brad Cox and Arad Ortiz Jr. with Further Ado.
Can I ask you, how many points does this horse have? Is he in?
Further Ado. I'll go check that out.
Because if he's in, this race means nothing to him, really. I mean, obviously it means something. They're running for $1,200,000. But, as far as Derby's concerned.
He's on the border. He's got 35. He's 18th.
Okay, so then he needs to win. So, okay, good.
Okay. Next up.
Ocelli scratched. Moontrocity becomes the next horse, the 8 horse. Who's just too slow. He's no good.
Yeah. The 9, Otino. Now, this horse is the only horse in the field to race twice at this distance and also win at this distance. He's 20 to 1. He's not going to be anywhere near 20 to 1. Now, interesting because most people were wondering, he's got all 3 of his races at Aqueduct. Why didn't he race in the Wood? Well, it's got to be because Chad Brown has got the other horse in the Wood.
Right, kept them separate.
Yep.
I have a better question. Why is Pratt riding this one, a 20 to 1 shot? That seems a little crazy. But I guess Franco rode the horse in New York in each of his first 2 races. So Pratt, he's keeping Pratt on this horse. I guess there are other stakes on Saturday at Keelan, so he's obviously riding in some of the other races as well.
Yeah, his numbers are not outstanding. He's got a 14.
Numbers are slow. He has no shot off the numbers.
No. But when you got Brown and Pratt, you always have to keep them, especially as a long shot.
But they're not. You think he's going to really be 20 to 1?
No, he'll be 8 to 1 probably.
Exactly, or 7. I guess you're right. That's the right price. 6 or 7, 8 to 1, like that.
All right, John. So is it going to be Further Ado?
It's Further Ado for me. I like actually 6, 5 cold. That's the exact I'm playing. 6 and 5.
All right, I'm going to play 6, 5, and 9. So there you go. We're both going with the favorite. No big deal there. And Further Ado, we'll see coming off. Already has a 7. He's coming off a 9. If he runs a really good race, we'll see if he will be a contender.
I'm going to play another exact. I'm going to play 6 with 1 and 5 because the 2 is. I'm going to go 6 with 1 and 5. I want to bet against the 4.
Talking.
Right.
Okay.
6 with 1 and 5.
6, 1, and 5 it is. I've got 6, 5, and 9. That is the Bluegrass. Now we're going to head on over to the Wood. So let me get those entries up here. And the Wood, we got a big field here.
Well, you got a couple of late scratches. The 11's coming out because he's running there. That Chad Brown horse, Atenejo.
Yes.
And I think there was another scratch I saw somewhere. No, maybe not.
I don't think so.
No, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Ocello decided to race here. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's all I could see here. Okay. So there we go. We've got this one, 12-horse field. And we are with the morning line favorite is the 13. And that's way out there at post number 13, John, Iron Honor.
Well, he's got post 12 now with the late scratch of the 11. So,
yeah.
Yes.
So still far out post.
It is Chad Brown, and the horse is 2 for 2, and he's won at Aqueduct and everything else that goes with it.
Okay, let's go through it. Napoleon Solo, our old buddy Chad Summers. I don't think I've ever seen Chad have this good of a meet before. He's really cooking.
His horses have been all running. His barn's been on fire. So let's see if he could keep it going.
Yeah, he's got his best horse here. So, matter of fact, keep this in mind. The last 2 winners of the Wood Memorial broke from the rail. So trying to make it 3 straight.
I'm sure they weren't 12-horse fields, though, but go ahead.
That is true. He's got the 9 and with, which was a little bit of a disappointment in the Fountain of Youth.
Well, it was his first race back, so obviously they were saying he wasn't squeezed for that race. The good thing about the horse is that he did run a 9 at Aqueduct as a 2-year-old. I think distance is the question. Listen, he's speed from the rail. He's going to ride a switch. Paco Lopez is going to ride. Kendrick Carmouche opted for the 8-horse courting. He rode Napoleon Solo in 2 of his first 3 starts. So I don't know. Listen, you got to use him. Well, for numbers, he has a shot. He has a 9 to go back to. The whole question is he moving forward in start number 2? Is he repeating, or is he going backwards? So obviously he's got the 9 to go back to. He's 7-2. You could certainly use him. I guess I'll use him in the exactas somewhere underneath.
Yeah, and the good thing is the 9 did come here at Aqueduct.
But that was around 1 turn. That's the difference.
Is this the last one at Aqueduct, the Wood?
What do you mean?
Are they going to have the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct after this?
Well, there's going to be no more Aqueduct after this, because when Belmont opens, they will.
There you go. That's what it is. Okay. I thought I read something about that. So Belmont's back next year?
Belmont will be back in September after Saratoga, I believe.
Okay, good. All right. Next up is Talk to Me Jimmy. Now, Talk to Me Jimmy.
We gave that, by the way, on this show the last time he ran at a big price.
At the Withers.
That's correct. He paid a nice price. I think it was like $25 or something.
Yeah.
So regular listeners of this show know. So this horse has never done anything wrong. 21,
Nope.
13, and 9. The only problem I have with it is that when he ran the 9 last time out, he was totally with the track. Whoever made the lead that day happened to win. But so what? He had a 13 as a 2-year-old. He could pair up 9s. He could repeat the 9. He's a must-use.
Yeah, the edge that he has, the betting edge over the 1, is we're getting almost double, and they both have 9s.
Right, but one ran the 9 as a 2-year-old, Napoleon Solo, and one
At
ran
2
as
turns.
a 3-year-old. So that's the difference.
Yes. Okay. Then we've got long shots, Right to Party. He is coming off of 14, all 3 races at Aqueduct.
And he has no chance.
The 4 is Steel, only a 15 in his 1 race.
But it doesn't mean anything. It's Bill Mott who usually gives them a race or 2 before they even get going. So 15 is a good starting point. He's obviously making a forward move in career start number 2. The question is, he's going to have to move it up. So that's what it's Mott. So anything is possible.
Okay, next up is Oselli, a 20-1 shot. He does have a 12. That was in January. Unfortunately, since then, 14 and 15.
Yeah, I don't like the 15 last time out is what makes this horse bad, because the 12, first of all, was on Lasix. Then he bounced to the 14 without Lasix. He was not on Lasix last time out. I don't like this horse.
Okay, next up is the 6. This is a long shot here, minor inconvenience, and Green is having a really nice meet, coming off a 10. This horse at Aqueduct, so he had a 16 and a 16 at Saratoga to end the year. Hadn't raced since August, so that's almost 5 months. Comes back at Aqueduct at a mile, runs a 10, which is a really nice move there. Yeah. But he's, I'm just going to put this out there. If you're looking for a long shot, just keep in mind 2 of the last 6 winners of the Wood won at odds of 59-1 and 72-1.
Maybe that's why whoever wins the Wood doesn't win the Derby.
That's usually why it is. Yeah, I'm sure.
Listen, that's the problem with all these races. They're all lightly raced horses. The horse ran 16 and then comes out and runs a 10. Well, who says he can't run an 8?
Yep.
It's possible. That you don't have a line to read a lot of times because they're just not experienced enough. Most of them are only coming into this race with 3, 4, maybe 5 starts. So that's the problem. So again, a horse like this could obviously jump up. But what is he? He's 30-1. That 30-1, you don't ask questions. If you like him, you throw him in.
Yeah. I don't remember doing many races with Amelia Green.
She used to be Todd Pletcher's assistant. She went out on her own about a year and a half ago. So
all right. Well,
that's why you don't recall doing many races.
Seems to be doing well.
Right.
Okay. Good for her. Albus is next, a 12-1 shot. Hasn't done anything wrong. Unfortunately, a little slow. 2017 and 13 coming off a win, breaking his maiden on Lasix.
And the 13 was with Lasix, like you said, and he's coming off of Lasix. He hasn't done anything wrong, but I think you have better options. This horse is only 12-1.
Yeah.
Where a horse like the 6 Minor Inconvenience is 30-1. That's a crazy, even the 2 horse, Talk to Me Jim, he's half the price,
Yeah.
but
And I got three points better, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Courting is next. Todd Pletcher's got 7 wins in the Wood. Is going to be hard pressed to try to win here with Courting at 8-1. But if you look at it, he's coming off a 12. That's his best figure this year. Last year, his best was a 14. That was actually in his very first race. As soon as he started racing in the graded stakes races, the results weren't very good. But again, at least he's coming off a 12, and he has gotten a little bit better, 16, 15, 12 in his last 3 races. I don't know if 8-1's long enough, but he's not a bad long shot possibility.
He absolutely has a chance. Listen, and remember, Kendrick Carmouche opts for this horse over Napoleon Solo. I like the fact that taking blinkers off, it's Todd Pletcher, obviously could repeat or possibly make a forward move.
Next up is the 9 Bravaro, and Bravaro is 8-1. 2 13s last year at Aqueduct, runs an 11 at Gulfstream in the Holy Bull, and then unfortunately goes backwards, runs a 12 in the Fountain of Youth. Now, I don't know whether or not, because he's a closer, so I don't know whether or not, the speed was all wrong. But again, at least he's got a couple of wins, shorter distance at Aqueduct. The price is 8-1. You have Safi Joseph. What do you think about Bravaro?
Actually, this is going to be my top selection. I'm going to take a shot with this horse. Blinkers go on. He did have trouble in his last race, so let's assume that trouble was a point. So if that trouble was a point, well, he paired 13s as a 2-year-old, and then he paired 11s as a 3-year-old. He's going to be a price. No one's betting Edwin Gonzalez in this race. It is Safi Joseph. I would take a shot with this horse. I think he'll be every bit of the 10-1.
Like it. That's it. Bravaro. Next up, the 10, Red Zone Runner. That's a big long shot coming off a 6-point new top.
In the slop at Park.
In the slop. This horse is running the slop 3 out of his 5 races.
Yeah.
Went wire to wire with his new trainer, but yeah, that was in the slop.
Yeah, so I don't want this horse.
The 12, because the 11 is scratched to the other race, the Bluegrass, is Butane. This is Baffert's horse. This horse is a speed horse. And he's had problems from what I hear at the rail. Not at the rail, that's another horse, but he's had problems. If you look at it, he's going the wrong way. He's got that 10 in January in that St. Vincente race, but then after that, he's got a 13 and a 16.
Yeah, this is unusual. Usually you see Baffert horses always get better. This horse is getting worse. This horse has an 11 and 12 as a 2-year-old early last year. In August, so if you run 11, 12 in August, you're eligible to run anything. He did have some trouble last time out in that race at Colonial Downs. Pratt was on him that day. But obviously not enough trouble because they didn't even indicate it on the sheets that he had trouble. But that being said, what's the best you're going to give him, a 13 or a 12? I don't think that's good enough.
Yeah, it's if you look at it, he's been a heavy favorite in 4 of his 5 races, and he's cashed in only once.
Exactly.
So, all right. Next up is the favorite of the race, Iron Honor, the 5-2 shot. Chad Brown, second of his horses in this field. He's won both of his races at Aqueduct. He ran an 8 last year. He runs a 10 in the Gotham win. But I must preface this. This is, again, very interesting history. The last Gotham/Wood winner was back in 2009. And before that, it was 1995. So you've only had 2 winners of both the Gotham and Wood in the last 30 years.
What year was that? 2009?
Yes.
Wow.
And before that, 1995. So it's 30 years. You've only had 2 winners of the Gotham and the Wood.
Okay, well, it is Chad Brown.
It is.
It's
And the numbers are great in this race. Yeah.
well, but one thing keep in mind, he's never been 2 turns. His mile race
True.
last time out was around 1 turn at
and he's running in the 13th post, 12th post, whatever.
Right. Listen, so my top selections are going to be the 9. I'm taking a chance with him. It's strictly a price play. If he's short, if he's 4 or 5 to 1, I don't want him, but he's not going to be 4 or 5 to 1. I like the 9 with the 1 Napoleon Solo, the 2 Talk to Me Jimmy, and the 13 Iron Honor. 9 with 1, 2, and 13.
Okay. And I tell you, I am going to go with the 8. I'm going to go with Courting. So that'll be my top horse. And I also will go 1, 2, and let me throw in, let's see.
Throw in my 9. What are you, nuts?
I'm going to throw in, well, there's 2 of them I'm going to throw in, actually. I'm going to throw in the 6 and the 9.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw in that 30 to 1 shot.
Yeah, bombs away.
Yeah, I don't usually do that, so why
bombs
not?
Away, Greg.
Yeah, okay. Next up is the final race on the card, and that is the Santa Anita Derby. Let me pop that up.
By the way, usually it's a horrible race, the Santa Anita Derby. Not so much, not so bad this year. I think you got some possibilities.
Yeah, this is the best race out of the 3.
Yeah, it's a short field too, only 7 horses, but these are serious horses here. I think a couple of horses that could run 9s and 10s easily. So
yeah, and hopefully we won't see any scratches with 7 horses.
No, well, you never know, but correct.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you there were 11 winners that won the Wood and the Kentucky Derby, but it hasn't happened since Fusiachi Pegasus in 2000. And 11 winners in the Santa Anita and the Kentucky Derby, but the last was California Chrome in 2014. So
a lot of trends here.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the last trend I'm going to give you is also pretty interesting. And that's the fact that you would think that, well, we kind of talked about it already, so I don't want to really belabor the point about the other thing, where you don't necessarily have to win coming into this Derby. I got a few of those that we'll talk more about when we do the preview show that's going to come up. I'm not sure, because are you going to Vegas?
I will be in Vegas, yes, sir.
When do you leave? Do you know yet?
No, I think I'm leaving the Thursday morning before, because there's a show Thursday night I'll be at the South Point. So anyone that's interested in listening to it, you can go to the South Point Hotel and Casino, their website, and there'll be a link. It's Friday night, 6:30, I believe, California time. So
okay, and that'll be on Thursday. So that means we'll probably do the show.
That'll be on Friday, but I'm leaving on Thursday.
Oh, okay. So that means you and I will probably do the show on Tuesday or Wednesday, probably.
Correct.
Okay, so here we go. We got the last race of the day. This will go off at 7:46 approximately on Saturday. The morning line favorite is the 2 Patente. That's Bob Baffert of his 2 horses. And let's start with his 2 horses, the 1 and the 2. Cherokee Nation is the second choice at 5-2. And he is coming off. Get that. I don't think I've ever seen a horse break his maiden with a 4.
Yeah, it's amazing. It took him 6 starts to break his maiden. That's what's really surprising. But he finally did run the 4. So that's not such good news for him. Originally, I liked this horse, but then I saw the 4. And the 4 was a Lasix. When he ran the 4, he went back on Lasix. He'll be off of Lasix this Saturday. You have such mixed signals regarding this horse. Why? Because Baffert's high on the horse, and the horse must run 1-2 to get points. He doesn't have any points for the Derby. No points. So his only shot is to run 1-2, or actually probably win, to be honest with you. And where's he going off the 4? When he ran a 9, 3 starts back, he bounced to the 12. When he ran the 11 last year, he bounced to the 18. Now he ran a 4. So I don't want this horse.
Yeah, his 2 single-digit races were both on Lasix.
Well, that's correct. They were both on Lasix. And what did he do when he came? And again, he's never put 2 races together in his entire history. So
yep, he went from a 9 to
a time. But, he still never puts races together. So
no, he's been up and down in all 6 races. And he went 9-12. and he's definitely going to bounce in this one, especially since he's only got 3 weeks of barely 4 weeks, right? Basically. So it's not exactly a 5 or 6 weeks.
If you're looking at sheets, you're supposed to play against this horse.
That is true.
Against him. So.
And it's interesting because at all 5 of his races, 6 of his races, he's never started outside the top 3.
As far as post position, he always draws a good post. Well, he has another good post today. And by the way, another problem with this horse is he's never been 1 1/8, and they want to make him 5-2. Good luck.
No, he has once. He was Churchill last year, and that was his worst race. One of his worst races.
1 1/16. That was not a mile.
Oh, 1 1/8. Okay, yeah. Was that a 2-turn race? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So he's only been in 2 turns once.
No, the mile at Santa Anita is actually around 2 turns.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing, this is the one that I remember reading about where they said that he has a problem with starts.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. You could probably see that here with his line. And Baffert says this horse, that's been the knock on him is he gets off the slow starts. He's always around the rail. And that's not where you want to get off the slow starts from.
Okay, well, he's got the rail, so chances are he'll get off to another slow.
Right, yeah. So let's hope that's the case at 5-2.
Let's hope they really bet him. That's what we're hoping.
Yes. If anybody's betting him, that's good luck. All right, so Potente is the favorite. That's his second horse. This one looks like the better way to go, even though he's never had a single-digit number. But he did have a 12 and then a 10, both at Santa Anita. He's got a grade 2 win. And this was the horse that basically stole that race from the long shot Robusta.
Who's in this race? By the way?
Yes, in the San Felipe not too long ago.
Yeah, listen, this horse could be anything. He has 2 starts. He's never done anything wrong. Last time was first time going long, and he responded with a terrific effort. The problem with him is the price. You're comparing his speed figures to other horses in the race, like Robusta, like Intrepido. Well, guess what? He's not really faster than them, but he will be a lot shorter price than them. So for that reason, I'm using him, but I'm not keying off of him because I look for value.
Vitruvian Man, a 15-1 long shot. And he was actually heading in the right direction up until his race at Turfway, but it was still kind of slow. 26-22, 21-14. Still, it was nice to go in one direction. Unfortunately, backwards. But again, you could draw a line through it. The bottom line is the horse seems a little slow.
He is definitely a little slow, but I will tell you that every horse Doug O'Neill has sent out at this meet has fired big. As you'll see, next up is Robusta, another Doug O'Neill horse in the race. Vitruvian Man, I just think is too slow, and I can't use him.
Robusta. So that was a 67-1 shot in the San Felipe. It looked like he was going to win. And then from nowhere came Potente to pick off the win. And if you look at the line, it really is solid. He ran a 19 last year in his first race, but this year he's run a 12, 10, and a 9. So he's looking pretty good, looking for revenge on Saturday.
Well, the 19 first out means absolutely nothing. We tell it to everyone every week here. One number, one race, first race especially, doesn't mean anything, whether it's good or bad. So I totally disregard the 19, and I'm reading it 12, 10, 9. Well, that certainly looks a lot like Potente. The only difference is he did it 3 times where Potente did it twice, and this horse is going to be twice the price at least. Well, what am I talking about? This is going to be 4 or 5 times the price of Potente.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Okay, now we go with the 5. So Happy at 7-2. We ran a 10 last year and 9 in the Santa and San Vicente win. But then he bounced to a 12. That was unfortunate because the first 2 races looked really solid. That was the same race that Potente beat Robusta at. He finished 3rd in that race with the 12.
Yeah, I don't like this horse. He ran backwards last time out with plenty of time off between races. He did have some trouble if you want to excuse it. But what's the best he's going to run? A 12 or 13? That's not going to get you nothing here. So
yeah, I mean 7-2, and I'm getting 8-1 with Robusta.
That's a ridiculous morning line. Totally ridiculous.
Yeah, no way. All right, next up is Start to Ride. This horse looks like he's got no chance. He had a 13 in January for his best number.
Yeah, I don't want this horse. No good.
Intrepido. Now this is an interesting one. 7-2 shot. He's done nothing wrong with the line. He's gone from 15 to 9. He's got a 9 in February in that grade 3 race. He raced in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile race. He's got a grade 1 win at Santa Anita. And check this out. Jeff Mullins, who's having a really strong meet, in his 4 previous Santa Anita mounts, he's got 3 wins and a runner-up.
Where, in the Santa Anita Derby?
Correct.
His last 4 entries in the Santa Anita Derby, 3 wins and a second.
Yes.
Wow. That's a pretty good set.
Yeah, it sure is. What do you think about the horse?
This is my top selection. I love this.
There you go.
Why wouldn't I like him?
That's right. Yeah.
What has he done wrong?
Nothing. I agree. All right. Who do you like underneath?
I'm using the 7 over the 2 Patante and the 4 Robusta. A no-brainer. But it's coming in, so.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say with that. So 7, 2, 4. That sounds like a plan.
I'm glad I shut you up finally. Perfect.
That's going to wrap it up. Next week, well, remember the Derby prep races do not end. So we only have one more to go. That'll be next week with the Lexington. And then also keep in mind next week, we have actually, there's a grade 1 race on Friday, which is a little unusual at Keeneland. But we've got.
That's because opening day is Friday. They have a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, there are 2 grade 1 races on Saturday next week. The grade 1 Jenny Wiley at Keeneland and the grade 1 Apple Blossom at Oaklawn, which is actually a Breeders' Cup race. Okay. So that is going to, so we got some good races next week, including the Lexington. So we'll be just fine next week.
Okay, buddy. Talk to you next week. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And we will have winners this week.
Yeah. We guarantees it.
We like these. I like these races. Last week, I told you I didn't like the races. This week, I like the races. So let's make some money, boys. Thank you, and ladies. See you, Greg.
Thanks, John. All right. So John's out of here. Let me just give you the recap because we had a lot of stuff going on here. Let's see the Bluegrass. John is going to, let me get my stuff here. John, I got it all over here. Okay. So John is going to go with, we're both taking the 6, and that's Further Ado. So we're not doing anything silly. That's the best horse in the race, and looks pretty good to us. John's going to go with 615. That's his play. 615 is going to add in the 1 talk and a 10-1 shot. He's coming off a 13 at Tampa in that grade 3 race. That was the one that Puma beat Further Ado in. So talking with Rosario on board is going to be his one of his co-second choices, along with the 5, and that is going to be Creole Chrome, who is eligible for pairs. He had the 2 14s last year, the 2 12s this year. So statistically speaking, that means he's ready for a new top, and not bad at 8-1, getting Gaffleone for the first time. I'm going to throw in Otino along with Creole Chrome. Otino is the horse, Chad Brown and Pratt. And it's not going to get 20-1. I get that. All right. Next up, the Wood Memorial. And John is going to go with the 9. So he's going to take the 8-1 shot right now. Bravaro. Actually, it should be 8-1. There's a lot of horses, 12 horses in the field. He's probably going to be considered the 4th or 5th choice, I would think. And so, you're going to get good odds with Bravaro. He's a closer, so hopefully he'll close well. And he is John's top choice. The 9 over the 1, 2, and 13. Yeah, those definitely look like the 2 horses you have to throw in there. We're going to ride there with Chad Summers, along with the 2, Talk to Me Jimmy, who's double the price almost of Napoleon Solo, and they both have 9s. So it makes a lot of sense. If you're going to do the 1, you better do the 2. And then John's going to go with the 13 also, Iron Honor. And remember that we have not seen a Gotham /Wood winner in the same year since 2009. Now remember, this is the information I get. Don't come after me if it's wrong. But I double check it. So this one seems to be legit. And before that, 1995. So 2 in the last 30 years. Doesn't mean it can't be done, but there you go. All right, and I'm going to throw in the 6 30-1 shot. Why not? We'll throw in a long shot in there. And I'm also going to obviously go with Jon's 9. And then that is leaves us up to the Santa Anita. And we're both going to go here with Intrepido. The 7-2 shot. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's coming off at 9. Last time out, he's got the grade 1 win at Santa Anita. And again, you can double check this, but this is the research that I've received. That Mullins, the last 4 times he's been in the Santa Anita Derby, he's got 3 wins and a runner-up. So anytime. And I don't mind corrections, by the way. I appreciate them. And because I know we have a very smart audience viewership. So anytime you notice that any of the information that I give is off, or no, you forgot this, or the information is wrong, please let me know. Please let the audience know. It's basically what I always tell my partners too when I'm doing shows. Is if I say something wrong, correct me. Okay, so that's Santa Anita. Again, we're both going with the 7 Intrepido and the 2-4 Potente and Robusta. So, yeah, I'd love to see a 7-4. That's obvious because of the odds. That'd be nice. Okay, so that is going to wrap it up. And once again, next week, on Friday, you've got the grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile at Keeneland. And they also have a grade 3 race next Friday at Keeneland. Then Saturday, it's the grade 1 Jenny Wiley and the Lexington Stakes. So again, Saturday, we'll get those 2 possibilities on this show. We'll also take a look at the grade 1 race at Oaklawn. That's the Apple Blossom. So we have 3 races to decide on what to do next week. After that, there are 4 graded stakes races the week of the 18th, 2 at Keeneland, 1 at Oaklawn, 1 at Santa Anita. So we should be able to get a couple of races there. And then the following week, it is possible that we might take the week off. It's possible because it's the week before the Derby, and there's only 1 graded stakes race on Saturday's card. It's at Santa Anita, and you never can trust Santa Anita with graded stakes races as far as their card is concerned. We don't want to see like a 5-horse field. So we'll let you know. We'll remind everybody if that's possible that we take that week off. Okay. Other than that, that's going to wrap it up. Again, if you have any questions, comments, please let us know. If you have never subscribed to the channel, please do that. Also hit the like button. All that stuff is really cool and helps us out here so we can continue to provide free coverage for you guys here on YouTube. As far as the rest of the week here at Proline TV, no more programming today. Tomorrow we have 2 shows. We've got our college basketball preview with our Playbook ATS podcast with Mark Lawrence, Jim Feist, Andy Isco. I'll be there. So we're going to go over the Final 4 and, of course, the championship. I'm not sure if we'll do a show on Monday for the championship, but if we don't, everything will be talked about on Friday at 1 Eastern. Normally we do that on Wednesdays or Thursdays, but Mark had some scheduling conflicts, so we've moved it to Friday. Also on Friday, I will be interviewing somebody who covers the New England Patriots. So if you're a New England Patriot fan and you're into the NFL draft, I'm going to preview the NFL draft directly speaking about the New England Patriots. So that is going to be 4 o'clock Eastern on Friday, right here on Proline TV and part of the Our Lads Football Network whenever we talk football. Again, Friday at 4 o'clock. And if you are into the NFL draft, I'm not sure if we have a link in the description of this video, but if you are interested in the NFL draft guide from Our Lads, take a look at any of our football videos. You can go directly to ourlads.com and order the Our Lads draft guide. It has all scouting reports for the players that, like 95% of the players that are going to be drafted on later this month, actually, in the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. You'll get a scouting report from in the Our Lads draft guide. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again next week. Good luck. Let's pick winners.